The authentic political show with Zandas, Okeke on radio.
All right, it's another lovely Friday morning in our state capital, the capital city of Imo State, and that's Owerri. Well, today we're taking a critical look at the United States inauguration that took place 2 days back and lessons for Nigeria. Let me tell you that it's Politics 107 on Dial 107.3 FM, and we are extracting the United States of America's inauguration and lessons for Nigeria. This is 107.3 Dial FM. My name is Zandas, Okeke, and my guest on the show, though running late, is Professor Jachimike Adele. He is a professor of education, administration, and planning, former mayor Owerri and chairman Owerri Municipal Council, and a fellow of the Commonwealth Academy of Education. You're welcome to Politics 107. We are streaming live on Facebook. Go to www.dalenfm.ng, and of course you can see what's happening in the studio. You can also drop your comment on our Facebook post. Find the Politics 107 post on our Facebook platform at Darling FM 1073 and be a part of the conversation. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well at Darling FM 1073. Well, quickly, we'll first probably rush to the federal capital city of Abuja, where the federal government is launching another scheme, and the senior special assistant to the president on public affairs, Ajuri Ngalale, is right here with me via the phone this morning. Hello, good morning, Ajuri.
Good morning to you, my dear brother, and good morning to the great people of Imo State.
Okay, Ajuri, so we hear of the scheme that has been launched, or that has been recently launched that's the Economic Sustainability Cash Transfer Scheme. What is this all about?
Thank you very much. So really what it is we've established now the first technology-based social security system in the history of Nigeria and actually Africa. It's never happened anywhere in the African continent before. In effect, what we've done is we've been able to triangulate three major sets of data, one being the BVN through collaboration with the banking institutions in the country, and of course, secondly, the national identity number with the NIMC, and then thirdly, the SIM card registration data from the telecom companies. In effect, what we've been able to do is we've been able to dimension accounts that have consistently over a long period of time have had balances less than 5 to 10,000 naira. Consistently, and we've dimensioned those accounts as those belonging to the extremely impoverished, and so essentially we've attached those accounts to what we call the Rapid Response Register. Now, what it's going to enable us to do over the long term is to have a means of, in case of any future emergency, whether it's public health related like the current pandemic, economically related, or related to a climate emergency or anything that may come up, we can directly reach our citizens with direct digital payments into their accounts from the Federation account for the first time in our history. But in the short-term context of COVID-19, what we're doing is, you recall that before now, our social investment program targeted really the rural poor. So the conditional cash transfer to cash, or physical cash, to the rural dwellers, because many of them did not have access to banking institutions in their far-flung communities, etc. And then literacy was also a challenge. But now with the Rapid Response Register, we're targeting the urban poor. We're targeting, those individuals who are hustling for their daily bread every day in markets and streets across the country, hawking goods and services on the streets, etc. So what we're doing is we're going to pay the same amount we pay the conditional cash transfer for the extremely impoverished, not just the impoverished, of 5,000 naira a month over the course of the next 6 months. So a total of about 30,000 naira per beneficiary. And on that register, we already have about 24 million Nigerians, and it's going to continue to increase.
Okay, you said the difference between this one is that the other one was for rural dwellers where cash was given to them directly, but this time around it's for urban centers where similar amounts will be paid.
People have accounts, but they don't have money.
Okay, they have accounts, they don't have money. But for some Nigerians, they'll be wondering, wouldn't it have been better if some of these funds being given to the poorest in the society had been used for setting up of industries that will probably gainfully employ some of these people?
Well, first of all, we believe as an administration that you can, as it is said, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You don't have to choose one over the other. And so as we're building these industries, as we're in this, by the way, unless you're in a communist country, government does not build every industry and employ every laborer. What you have to do is to create the enabling environment for private industry to be able to perform and expand their operations and ensure that they can employ our people, which is why over the course of not just this period, but over the last 5 years, we've made unprecedented investments in providing low-interest capital to micro, small, medium, and large-scale industry in the country. We've obviously put in place a series of regulatory reforms, which has obviously made the World Bank to name Nigeria as one of the top 10 most improving nations in the world in the ease of doing business rankings 2 out of the last 3 years, and also the first time in our nation's history being named to that list. And now we've done it twice in the last 3 years. And so it's not just because World Bank likes the face of the president. It is because of the reforms that they have verified that he has put in place and continues to put in place. We are not there yet, but we are making a lot of progress. And on the other side of it, making sure that you're dealing with infrastructure, roads, bridges, railways, airports, seaports. Anybody who is unbiased has seen the massive level of investment that has happened across the country in terms of new airports coming up. In fact, this year alone, we've just built the world-class runway at Akano Ibiam International Airport in Enugu. We're going to open up the new terminal by the end of this year. The new Lagos International Airport terminal is coming this year. The new Kano International Airport terminal is coming this year. And then Port Harcourt, of course, was finished 2 years ago under this president. And then, of course, the rail lines in Lagos, Ibadan, etc., etc.
Okay.
So all of that, my point is, all of that is what enables foreign direct investment to be able to come in and build and create the kind of jobs that are going to be sustainable over the long term. But what we can do in the immediate term is to create as many opportunities as possible, which we're doing with the Special Public Works Program, elevating N-Power to 1 million, and so many others. But we also need to make sure that the extremely impoverished have access to cash.
All right. Now, how are they going to be selected? Do they need to probably apply, or is it government that will probably discover or select the poorest in the urban areas?
Thank you very much. So because this is all data-based, the way it's going to work is there's no hiding place, right? So the way it works is, if you have a BVN, because some people have asked, what about fraud? Is it not possible that you'll get the wrong beneficiaries?
Okay.
The way it works is, if you have BVN, you know that if you have 5 bank accounts in 5 different banks, and in one account you have 100,000 naira, and in the other 4 accounts you have zero balance, zero money inside, then your BVN will clearly show that you have 100,000 naira to your name, at least within the banking system. So there's no way around it. We're going to be able to know who has what within the banking system and all of that. And then, of course, because there's a long account history, you'll be able to see what the inflows and outflows are and all of that to dimension the account. So we have been able to do all of that, and that is how we now come up with the register. Now, the way it's going to work in practical terms for the beneficiary is that all they're going to do is they're going to receive an alert on their phones, because, again, we tied it to the SIM card registration data, to the NIN, and then to the BVN. So they're going to get a message on their phone. Then once they get that message, inside of that message will be information that will include a prompt. So you don't need any data, any credit, any airtime. What you just do is use the USSD by pressing *100# or whatever the code is in that message. And then once you put in that code, a menu will come up. They will now ask you to put in some verification information about your identity, which of course you will know. Once you put it in, you will now activate the benefits. The only thing you have to do after that is to receive your credit alert, because you have activated it from your phone. So that's how it's going to work. The same way we've been dealing with our farmers, the same way is how we're going to be dealing with these digital payments to the extremely poor across the country. And it's going to be historic by the time we're done over the next 12 to 24 months.
All right. Thank you very much, Ajuri, for that piece of information, and wishing you the very best right there in Abuja.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, it's still Politics 107 on Dial 107.3 FM, and just you've heard that one, economic sustainability cash transfer, and it's for the poorest of the poor in the urban area. Something new from the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari. That's on one side, and we just finished speaking with the senior special assistant to the president on public affairs, Ajuri Ngalale. But right now, the show proper must go on. On the 20th of January, that was precisely 2 days back, the United States of America was the signature of all eyes as people saw a smooth transition. Should I call it smooth? I don't really know, but transition of power from a Republican president to a Democratic president. Well, I have my guest now seated and ready to go. You're welcome, Professor Jachimike Adele.
Thank you very much, Alex. And good morning, all our listeners.
All right, then quickly, let's go straight to it. 4 years ago, yes, this is according to President Trump. There was something spectacular. Let me even put it to you first before I probably take that excerpt. When these presidents, the United States of America presidents, when they are making their speech or giving their speech, you see so much passions, they evoke so much emotions, and it's as if you want to be part of that country. I mean, how do they do this?
They do it because it's natural to them. They do it because they are passionate. What you're seeing is passion in action. They do it because they have convictions. They have come through a system that throws up only the best, a system that throws up only those who are ready and passionate for service. And so when they speak to the people, what they do is evoke a spirit of unity and nationalism. They evoke a spirit of a particular idea. For example, republicanism or libertarian principles. They evoke it and ensure that the people come along with them. So that's a very important thing in leadership. If you want to be a leader, you have to be very passionate about something, and you have to be prepared. What you see is the outcome of preparation, the outcome of passion, the outcome of conviction coming out when the man wants to address the people.
Yes. All right, let's look at this. The former president or the immediate past president of the United States, Donald Trump, didn't attend the inauguration, and a few days to the inauguration, he gave his farewell speech, and some excerpt there, you will see so much passion, and he actually termed himself as somebody that is not from the establishment. Let me just take this one. He says, 4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder, looking at open skylands and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be sealed. I knew the potentials for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It was about It was not about Republicans or Democrats, but about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation. You understand? I mean, you can see in just that excerpt, he almost summarized his entire presidency. And in some other areas, he even talked about the fact that he said he was going to come up with a vaccine, and that it was one of the greatest achievements of his administration that he did that with a record time of 9 months. Now let's assessing Donald Trump as a person. I don't know. Nigerians were divided. It was like a 50-50 divide. Yeah. Those in support and those against. But let's get your thoughts. I
would like to concentrate on the lessons of Donald Trump's presidency.
Oh, okay.
Because there will be no end at all to the divisions in Nigeria, the unnecessary divisions in Nigeria about Donald Trump. But the lesson we have to learn, there are several lessons to learn from Trump ever becoming president in a place like America. First of all, there's something that's called the tyranny of the masses. Donald Trump never won the popular vote. Okay? Donald Trump became president because America is a true federation. He won the electoral college. The electoral college system is a system that allows states to send a certain number of delegates based on their potentials and population to a college in Washington, D.C. that elects the president. So you could win the popular vote, but not win the electoral college. And that is true federalism. Nigerians should learn from this. If we had an electoral college in Nigeria, for example, President Buhari may never have become our president because he can get all the Amajuris to vote for him, but the electoral college system, if well put together, could go to Abuja and decide that you are not representative of enough of Nigeria to be our president. Indeed, what the electoral college does, in principle, is to say, we agree with you in majority of the places called a nation for you to become our president. It doesn't matter whether there is a horde of people who have voted for you. Okay, this is what happened to Hillary Clinton in the previous election that brought President Trump to office. Okay, that's the first lesson to learn. So should Nigeria adopt true federalism? Because if it did, for example, President Buhari would not have gone to America to tell people on resumption of office that he will give more to 97% of the people as against 5% of the people, if you forgive the poor arithmetic. He could never have done that, and he could never have become president.
Yeah, but
now, that's the first lesson. Sorry,
okay.
Maybe we should go on from there, if you don't mind.
All right, go ahead.
The second lesson to learn from there is that a man could be an outsider. A man could be an outsider and become president. Okay? If there is a fair system, if there is a system online, somebody can become president even when he's an outsider. The reason Donald Trump became president is that Americans were tired of the establishment. They thought that there was no real difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. And there came a man who had made so much money that he could finance his own election without anybody's help. Okay? So Americans thought that this would be a man who could come and take independent actions. And that's what he did. He now brought his person right into the presidency. And that's what also messed him up. He started seeing America as himself. Everything was Donald Trump. Everything was his own idea. He rubbished the Senate.
All right, we'll hold your thoughts there and go for a quick break.
Darling FM 107.3. Darling FM 107.3.
Hello, babe. Are you still there? Can you hear me? All right, yeah. So I see a VIP bar for choice beverages and drinks, a restaurant for African and continental dishes, a 300 to 500 seating capacity event center, exquisite rooms and suites at pocket-friendly prices. And guess what, babe? For you and I, there's a pool and a poolside bar and a gym.
Spend time with family and friends at Zaza Hotel. Zaza Hotel is located at number 28 Yaradua Drive before Lord's Chosen Church, Owerri, Imo State. For more inquiries, call 0803-785-8386 or 0803-743-2115.
Nne, nke ị na-ebugharị silinda iburugbago iburugbada.
Maazị Ibe, ike agwụla m o. Amaghị m ebe ọzọ ga-abụ nga agbata gas nje si nri. Ndị shọ maka
ozugo nwaanyị orogwe ekpesazina maka na ndị na-eji mega gas plant awụchala ọzọ n'orogwe anyị a lee Enugu Oke n'ekwekwa bọgịrị savisi ha na-enye kara aka ha bụrụ ụzọ ha anara gị silinda gị gbajuru gị ya ojupụ m n'ọnụ ha ewere aka ha dọnyere gị ya na moto ha na-erekwasị silinda na accessories ya ma na-edozikwazi silinda mebiri emebi mgbagaba ugbu a na uhu afọmakọ dị so n'ụlọ ụka ndị Salvation Army Orogwe Owerri West Local Government Area of Imo State ka ị bara okwu n'ụlọ kpọọ n'akara ekwentị a 09137720001 maọbụ ị gaa na webụsaịtị anyị www.regimgas.com.ng ma cheta na anyị nwere Regime Gas Plant n'Egbu Road n'iru Relief Market Owerri ya na Warrior North Pocket Layout Irete Egbada Junction Onitsha Road Owerri. Regime Mega Gas Plant esimesi ebirila ọkụ.
Twisco, power your dream.
Rental hotel and suites. I'm all the way from home. For your luxury and comfort, enjoy yourself with good hospital.
Mr. Charles, how was the night?
I slept like a newborn baby. It's so awesome.
Your comfort is my priority.
Thanks, Mike.
Think of home. Think of Rent-A Hotel and Suites.
Rent-A Hotel and Suite is a world-class hotel aiming at redefining the hospitality perception. Pristinely cleaned with exceptional services of international standard. You can get exclusive rooms of different types. World-class swimming pool, gym, ample parking slots, laundry services, internet services, conference hall, African and intercontinental dishes. And at Rent-A Hotel, you can get complimentary breakfast. We also have executive bar, cool bar, and we offer airport transfer. Visit Rent-A Hotel and Suite at Rent-A Roundabout, former 4040 Roundabout, New Owerri, or call 0704 984 5794. Rent-A Hotel and Suite, a place to be.
Welcome to Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited, a financial home that has impacted life and meaning to many lives, homes, and companies with values using strictly the international capital trade market business for the past years and still counting in Nigeria. Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited has succeeded in delivering prompt and reliable 10% monthly returns on investments for investors with a minimum startup capital of 300,000 naira only and a maximum capital of 100 million naira only. If you're looking for assured and reliable security for your funds and consistent delivery of returns on investment, think Returns Market Investments Nigeria Limited. Contact our office today at Greenwich Mall, number 3 Umez Eronini Street, along Ikenebu, off Wedra Road, Ore, Imo State, or call us on 0702 521 1290 or visit www.returnsinvestmentsnigeria.com. Choose financial freedom. Choose Returns Market Investments Nigeria Limited.
Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the water spout.
Healthy Kid is a baby and infant tasty liquid that contains 20 bionutrients including omega-3, choline and inositol for brain development, memory and learning ability. It also contains vitamin A, vitamin D3, vitamin E, calcium, iodine and amino acids. Healthy Kids improves immunity and strong bonds. It is also helpful for children with special needs like autism, speech and language delays. Healthy Kid is NAFDAC approved and marketed by United African Laboratory and is available at all pharmacies near you. For further inquiries, call 0806 465 4812.
Dada love Healthy Kid.
Healthy Kids for your baby's general good health.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Politics 107 on Dial 107.3 FM, and yes, still taking a look at the United States of America's inauguration and what lessons for Nigeria. Professor Jachimika Dele has already taken two of it. Talking about the electoral college system, which we are not practicing. Yeah, I wanted to ask that question. You know, the difference between the popular and popular votes, which Hillary Clinton won in 2016, but Donald Trump became president with through the Electoral College. But right now, we say we're practicing the American system, the presidential system of government. But I don't know. We don't do Electoral College, which you said if we had imbibed that, probably Buhari wouldn't have been president.
Yeah, he most probably wouldn't have been president. Now, how this works is in the United States, for example, each state, no matter how large or how small, is represented by two senators. And that is the principle of the equality of states. So every state contributes to the federation. Now, here in Nigeria, the federation takes what belongs to other people and shares it to the states.
No, what belongs to everybody?
No, what belongs to a certain people.
Oh, okay.
And then they share it to everybody.
Okay.
That is undemocratic, it's unjust, it's unfair. And that is not federation. That's a unitary system. And this unitary system is provided to us by a military decree, which is the 1999 Constitution. That's why Nigeria, that's one of the reasons why Nigeria is not working. Now, what the electoral system does is this. There are people contributing certain amounts of taxes and population all over America. So they are allotted electoral votes based on that power, the power of population and the power of production and taxes.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah,
so some states, because of their viability, have more electoral value than others. Now, if we may take two examples, Imo State and Kebbi State. What is Kebbi State giving to this federation and what determines it? What is Imo State giving and what determines it? It is these determinants that give us the electoral vote. There may be more people in Kebbi State, for example, than in Imo. That's possible. Just to give an example.
Okay.
Just to give an example. But all the people in Kebbi State may not be able to elect somebody unless the people in Imo State who are contributing a certain quota of production units do not agree. That is equitable. That is democratic. That is fair. That is how the American system works. Now, if we take it back to the case of what's his name? I'm almost forgetting his name. Trump. His name should be forgotten as quickly as possible, really, if we can. Okay. Now, if you take the case of Trump, for example, a lot of Americans thought that Hillary Clinton should be their president.
Yes.
But based on justice and equality and productive power, the electoral college system said, no, you cannot be. You are not representative enough of the whole of America. Now you see what the difference is. And that is just. That is what we should be doing in Nigeria. So if somebody wants to come here to be our president, he will strive to please everybody. He will strive to put production everywhere. He will not concentrate all his efforts on a certain part of the country as against another. He will not appropriate what belongs to somebody and give it to another person. He will want to win the electoral vote because everybody, wherever you are, becomes very significant to your becoming president. To your acquiring power. So, in Nigeria, there are no checks and balances. The president, the executive, pays the National Assembly, controls it. So all you have to do is use that economic power, grab the principal officers, and we are running a unitary system.
Yeah, a number of people have said that, even though some of our leaders have refuted it. We say we're running the democracy and not unitary system. But all this you've been paying. Now, okay, let's quickly take a look at the inauguration itself. Right there in the social media, a lot of people talked about the way and manner and the seriousness attached to the office. Immediately Joe Biden was sworn in, almost his entire cabinet was mentioned, compared to what we practice here, where you have people probably, you first see visitations, congratulatory messages, then you now see traveling to certain places to say I'm now the president, and before you know it, it's 6 months down the line before you start hearing names of the cabinet and those that will work.
And then before those members of cabinet are sworn in, the president would go and lobby and do all that so that by the time they even get to office, the office has been fallow for 6 months, 3 months. In the case of Buhari's first tenure, we were going to 7 months and all that. And this is work to be done, and nobody is doing it. So you begin to see that it's slow right from the beginning. Now, why is that so? Because they're trying to do political balancing, and we waste time. So once again, we go back to the fundamentals of this country that we're trying to build a nation out of. Why are we like this? And I'll tell you why. I want to say this because very soon political activities will start, and
it's already started.
Yes, I want to address our people. One of the most important areas to go to in this is the National Assembly. I have continued to say it on programs here whenever I come here. If you choose the right people into that National Assembly, that National Assembly has the potential and the ability and is very competent to completely control a president, no matter what his whims and his caprices could be.
So how do we get
the right people? So here in Imo State, the time has come. We must ask ourselves, the people that we have sent to the National Assembly, have they served our interest? Do they have what it takes to serve our interest? Are there other people who hitherto may not have been known or may not have had the opportunity, who will now go and represent us? This is where we are at the moment. If we take the lessons of, take for example, McCormick, a dyed-in-the-wool Republican, when it came to matters of principle, he abandoned Trump.
Yeah.
Look at the Vice President Pence.
Yeah.
a dyed-in-the-wool Republican. When it came to matters of the interest of the nation,
national interest,
how many people that have gone from Imo State, for example, to the National Assembly can do that? What we see here is that when people begin to look at political opportunism, they change political party in order to ensure that they get back there to do what? To continue looting. Look, President Biden has never owned a car for 46 years that he's been in the National Assembly of America, in the Congress. Why? Because as a public transportation system, he gets onto the train in Delaware, and 2.5 hours he's in Washington, D.C. Fresh and cool, air-conditioned train. That man does not care about the car. He does not care about... He cares about taking people who believe in what he believes in. Nothing more.
So, I mean, our leaders see these people every time. Sometimes they even interact when they go on state visits. How come this culture does not rub off?
This culture will never rub off here because we are working on something that doesn't have foundation. We are in Nigeria laboring at every point to mend cracks. And you know it's a very dangerous thing to have a house and every day you're mending the cracks. That house is likely to fall on people someday. And people do not want to hear what we are saying. Send the correct people from Imo State, from every state, to the Senate.
Yeah, but if the correct...
Send the correct people to the House of Representatives.
Prof, if the correct people do not seek position, do not seek to come up for elections, what happens?
All on people.
Some people, I know quality people that will tell you politics is dirty, they don't want to soil their names and all of that. If charlatans keep coming up for elections, the people must vote.
I agree, yes, people must vote and their positions must be filled. So I use this opportunity to call on those who have principles, those who have prepared themselves well, those who have made clean money by dint of hard work, by dint of natural endowments of intelligence and application of intelligence over a period of time, people who know the value of work and the value or the dignity of labor, those who have principles and the fear of God. And there are many of them. And I'm happy that I personally have identified a few who are interested in politics. We must find a way of bringing them to talk to Imo State people, to talk to Nigerians, that we want to go to that place and see how a president can go outside and say that he's only there for only 3% of the people and survive. Any president who does that in a clean democracy will be impeached. You understand what I'm talking about? And it takes a certain kind of person to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So we must have a complete paradigm shift. And like I have always said on this your station, one of the basic things we have to do is to go to this military decree that's called the 1999 Constitution and rejig it completely. Rejig it. Make local governments truly autonomous. Make state governments truly a part or a contributory part to the federation. I have always said that this country has the best potential. I feel very happy to be a Nigerian. I can travel 1,800 kilometers and still be in my country. In many places in Europe, by the time you do 300 miles, you are in another country, especially in Central Europe. So we have all this. We have the diversity. So we can grow tomatoes, we can get fish, we can get beef, we can get... Why are we not great? I want to be a Nigerian, but I want to be a Nigerian who is recognized for my worth, not recognized for nothing, or not being made as if I'm nothing, as is happening in this country, where it is clear that the leaders are more interested in themselves than in us, where a president, for example, clearly states that he is by his actions more than even his words. You have federal appointments that do not go according to, that don't show federal character and all that. So we must get a system that binds us together, and that's the system. You see, sometimes when you speak against this government and all that, about this government, and it happens to be against their actions and words, people think, no, we want to build a country. I want to be a Nigerian. I want to be a Nigerian who does not care where the president comes from. As long as I can go, I'm secure, I have food, the university where I work is open, I can do my research, I can report my research, my children can go to school here, my parents, the list of my relative can have 3 square meals. Then let the man come for all I care from wherever.
From the moon, anywhere.
Let him come from wherever. You understand? But if we don't put in these things, it will continue to be, where does he come from? And I ask people, Obasanjo has been president how many times? His village is still a village. Not so long ago I went there. You understand? Achikudoma has been governor. His village is still how it is. It's still being carried by the people themselves, not by any particular government intervention. Rochas Okorocha has been governor. Not so long ago I visited him. Oboko is still a village. Any good thing you see there, well, there are one or two attempts there and there to show that our son has. But basically, the place is growing by the people. The people are ready. Imo State people are ready. In this place called Imo State, if you will remember, and I'm sure a lot of people will remember, we provided our own secondary schools, provided our own NEPA lines, provided our own everything. So we are ready.
Built your own airport.
Well, we built our own airport. So we are ready. All we just need is somebody to point the way. And if the governor here, for example, may not be pointing there, to have people, politically empowered people who will call him and say, Oga, please don't do this. And there are people like that.
Why are they not talking?
Well, they are coming up. A few of them are coming. Very soon you will hear there are powerful people coming.
Prof, I've been hearing of the third force. Even Rochas Okorocha recently talked about the third force for political parties.
Yes.
Yeah, they are coming for 2023. Some young groups are already so
Well, see, what we're talking about here is what does it take to be a political leader? And everywhere in the world, that's what it is. You must be prepared. You must have a program. Okay? You must be persistent. I call them the 4 P's. What is preparation? You have to have at least basic education.
Okay.
You have to have passion. That's the 4th P. There must be something that you want to do. And if I may take a little bit of, when I was local government chairman, for example, it was very clear what I wanted to do. And that's probably why I came out from there still a very poor man, relative to those who been local government chairman. Ndobisi Kano, may his soul rest in peace, died not a wealthy man. As did Mbakwe, if you serve your people with passion and truth, you will not make money. Even the security vote that now being used, you will use it for the people. You won't know when you have used it. Give it to the church, give it to people, start this, help this youth. The security vote is gone. You wait for the next month. Because there's a passion to change.
But we're not seeing much of that passion these days.
Well, fortunately, quite fortunately, especially here in Imo State, some people with passion, with conviction are coming up. And you'll hear about them soon. And I will be one of them.
I keep hearing this. How soon are we going to see this?
Alex, believe me, this time they will come. And just as I told people when I ran for the House of Representatives, they will come, they will run, the people will either take them or